Hi, today is Thursday, October 31st, 2024. This is my second reading for the day. Over the last weekend, I had a family constellation therapy sessions facilitated one of my friends and the meditation master. It was good. I felt a little bit relieved, much better than before. But I just always wondered if the therapy, especially the family representation, could be wrong, right? I feel like it's more than 60% better, accurate, but there is a lingering 40% error, erroneous prediction or representation. That's my idea. But generally, family constellations therapy is good. I recommend it. If you are in Korea, you can always come visit Gwangju. I could recommend you to my friend, or I can refer you to my friend. He's very good. So, but this article I randomly pulled from the internet. Let's find out what the problems are with family resurrections, family constellations therapy. This article is from vincentsar.com, and I am trying to read this article for both multiple purposes. One of them is to practice English by reading an English article on a daily basis. Another one is to get to know much better on the subject matter. The subject today is problems and dangers with a family constellation. Here, dangers is plural, right? Problems and dangers with a family constellation. Best work, coaching and healing modalities, systemic constellation. Family constellation is one of the modalities that are like a transport modalities, models, methods, ways, right? Family constellation is one of the modalities that I deemed to be really effective because of how versatile it is, and it also works on various layers that are underneath just what's shown. See, what's a family constellation? But at the same time, since it's an unregulated modality like the coaching industry, there are also various stories of its dangers and issues leading to some schools of teaching rejecting this modality entirely, despite when executed well, it can be highly effective. These are the hearsays on its problems I have heard before, and also my thoughts on it. These are the hearsays on its problems I have heard before. Yeah, I remember this. These are the hearsays on its problems I have heard before. These are the hearsays that I heard that on its problems I heard before. Inaccurate representation. Since the dynamic of the family constellation often uses representative's intuition to sense what's happening or what's happening underneath the surface at the deeper emotional level, right? At the deeper emotional level, there can be mistakes. In other schools of thought, like a satire or a psychodrama, there's quite a lot of emphasis on using client's language, or the clients only speak a certain phrase if it resonates. This ensures the whole process represents what belongs to the client instead of what others think they are, resulting in a more effective process. However, when I speak to experienced facilitators about this issue, they often say when representatives bring their own stuff into the field doesn't move very well. It gets stuck, and the quietness and flow of the field just stops. Where an experienced pair of eyes would be of able to differentiate that relatively easily. Okay, so there's mistake, right? It gets stuck, and the quietness and flow of the field just stops, where an experienced pair of eyes would be able to differentiate that relatively easy. If the participants have enough self-awareness too, they would know whether they are moving with the field by bringing in what's both in the representative and themselves. Since the participant often has what the representative has, versus the participant forcing something in due to personal interest. For example, I need to have my things in right now since it's unsafe, unnecessary. What does it mean? If the participants have enough self-awareness too, they would know whether they are moving with the field by bringing in what's both in the representative and themselves. Since the participant often has what the representative has, versus the participant forcing something in due to personal interest. For example, I need to have my things in right now since it's unsafe, unnecessary. Future prediction. I've heard more than one case where the experienced facilitator speak about how a family constellation is being used as a fortune-telling case. Below is a hearsay I've heard from my experienced facilitator. What's the company's future revenue? The client asked. The facilitator picked the representatives. The representative moved on their own and they sorted themselves from short to tall. Can you see the body size of these representatives goes from smaller to bigger? It must mean your revenue will go into billions, the facilitator replied. I don't know how accurate was the prediction, but my understanding is the founder doesn't use it for such an intent. My understanding of the intent of family constellation is to move and shift the energy underneath. So there's more choice, empowerment, and possibilities, like how in various therapeutic modalities we would let go of emotion and shift our understanding of past instants. It's not an assurance of the future for us, so we can keep holding on to our stuff. I was distracted. My understanding of the intent of family constellation is to move and shift the energy underneath, so there's more choice, empowerment, and possibilities, like how in various therapeutic modalities we would let go of emotion at an emotional level and shift our understanding of past instants. It's not an assurance of the future for us, so we can keep holding on to our stuff. Other various ways of misguidance. The last point is just a family constellation can be very much like a therapy, where there's emotional movement and sometimes it's deeper than that. When people start taking this tool, claiming themselves as a facilitator without training, there can be many stories of things going off track. There can be many stories of, that's good expression, things going off track. There can be many stories of things going off track. There can be many stories of things going off track. There could be many things, there can be many stories of things going off track. There can be many stories of things going off track. Commercialization. You are now at our $200 course, which only resolves the family origins issue. We've detected that this is karmic related, join our next level class, which costs $3,000. While this is a viable business model, it doesn't sit well with me. When the constellation field flows, you flow and follow where the energy is moving. A responsible facilitator won't stop a constellation halfway and ask for more money before continuing. It's pretty disruptive. Lacking in psychological foundation. A facilitator had a representative channel and said the effective problem child is due to the mom's ancestral lineage. Ancestral lineage. It resulted in the husband blaming the wife. In settings I've seen that's done right, I see facilitators make it a point to resolve what's showing up. And when it doesn't get resolved, there's a sufficient debriefing on it so the participants feel complete. There's also explanation and clarity on how it's hardly ever just one cause to an effect. Lacking in regulation. A teacher of mine had shared how he had met someone who really misused the tool. So he asked the facilitator where he got his training from. The reply was, I can facilitate Constellation just by watching 3 videos online. I'm such a spiritual person. Conclusion. Solution. Choose credible facilitators. Recommendations from people from whom you know and trust. Then attend a smaller session and see if the facilitator's energy resonates before committing on a large scale. I think choosing all courses should be done in such a way. A really simple gauge is just whether the space is coming from love or fear. A proper facilitator would be able to guide the participants to see how everything comes from love. There would be minimal blame, judgment, shame, and guilt, but a lot of responsibility, forgiveness, and healing. Yeah, it's a little bit cold. I'm just standing and walking, roaming around in front of this biggest church in Gwangju, 동명교회 or Dongmyeong Church. So this article is a little bit informational. Facilitators, they need to be well trained, and the representatives sometimes they could be wrong, right? From this article, I learned such expressions as at an emotional level, or there can be many stories of things going off track. There can be many stories of things going off track. At an emotional level. What else? Modalities, ancestral lineage. These are the hearsays on the problems I've heard before. These are the hearsays on its problems I have heard before. Right, more effective process. Future prediction, from short to tall, from short to tall, from short to tall. Going off track, pretty disruptive. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful Thursday. Bye bye. This is the last day of October for 2024.